Tutor Sushruta LGS. So I'm here to talk regarding how to read Sabiston, how to tackle Sabiston, because Sabiston is a very important textbook for you to read for not only your post graduation in MS or just to gain knowledge, but it is equally important for all the super specialty exams for post general surgery. So Sabiston is not something which you can just go through the chapters and you will be able to remember everything. You need to be very smart about how you read Sabiston. So to start off with, what should you do regarding the first reading? So I have subdivided that how you can tackle it. So first reading, what I feel is that you should do screening. So what does it mean? That you just go through the chapters, and that should be just how you read novel. Just you read through the chapters and you decide and mark. Don't mark the important stuff, just mark that yes, from this topic or this chapter, this is the important topic. Then what are the important tables and what are the important boxes? Just mark them. You don't need to make notes or you don't need to highlight everything. Just mark that yes, for example, in esophagus achalasia is important. Mark it. Just screen the chapter, then mark it that yes, this topic is very 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 important, this topic is very important, this topic is okay. So this will help you in deciding about what and how to read in your second reading. So now coming to a second reading. So what you need to do. So whenever you have screened in the first reading, in the second reading, you need to now go into detail and start reading the important topics and then start marking the important points first of all. Second, mark the must know things. That means that I need to know this. You cannot miss it, and that are the topics and the points which you will revise before your exams, not just theory but also the super specialty exams. Highlight the topics, highlight the important points, and make some quick revision notes in form of sticky notes, or you make in your notebook, or if you have been following my videos, the notes which are available in my plan, you can just mark it and write the important points in that. If not, then you can just make your own notes, make some sticky notes and stick it in the textbook. Next, coming to the final reading. So now you have been reading in a smart way. So now you know that yes, this is the priority, this is the second priority, this is a third priority topic. In that, now you have marked in the second reading that yes, these are the important points, you have made the sticky notes. Now just go through that in the final reading or the third reading. Don't read anything else, just read what you have marked and what you have highlighted. You don't need to read anything else, that will suffice. Okay. Now coming to the table of contents. Now what I want to highlight is all the chapters have been divided into subsections, and I want to tell you which chapters are priority 1, priority 2 and priority 3. If you see in the section 1, that is a surgical basic principles, in that the first second chapter is not at all priority, just read it for your knowledge. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth are very important, they are priority 1. In inflammatory response, that is priority 3, but it is important. Just go through it, highlight the important points and just read that, especially the tables. You don't need to read anything else if you have just screened through the chapter. Chapter 7, Regenerative Medicine. It is more useful if you read from Love and Bailey for post graduation and even for your super specialty exams. It is given very much in detail in this chapter, so that can be priority 2. And 8 and 9, especially what I feel is just the tables regarding the various studies, the level of evidence, that is important. Other than that, just screen in the first reading, and after second, third, just read what I'm telling you. Secondly, coming to section 2, that is perioperative management. So in this, I feel chapter 10, 11, 12 is priority 1. You need to read from the first to the last page of this chapters. You cannot miss this. Chapter 13 is priority 3. You don't need to go into much detail, just screen and highlight the important points. That's it. Chapter 14 again is important for not just for a post graduation but equally important for a super specialty exams. So chapter 14 again priority 1, chapter 15 and 16 are priority 2. Just go and read and highlight what are the important points, because not everything is important in this chapter. Next, coming to section 3, that is trauma and critical care. Chapter 7, priority 1, first page to last page, equally important. Chapter 18, difficult abdominal wall, again, priority 2, important, but not as much as the chapter 17. Chapter 19 is priority 3. You can just screen it, what you feel important, just read that. Chapter 20, again, very important, from first page to last page you need to read, that is priority 1. Chapter 21, don't read, not required, especially for the Indian subsection. Chapter 22, yes, read priority 2, just read through like tracheostomy, the emergency procedures, like chapter 22 23, just go through it once. Some questions and some portion is important, but other than that I don't feel it is at the level of priority 2, it is priority 3. Chapter 24, go through from Love and Bailey. No need to read from this book. Next, transplantation and immunology. All four chapters are priority 1. Read from first page to last page. Everything is important. They can ask anything from this. So don't miss this section. Chapter 5, Surgical Oncology, Tumor Biology and Tumor Markers chapter, it is priority 2. Just go through the tumor markers. Tumor Biology, just screen through what are the important points, highlight it if you are asked. For example, the tumorigenesis, the whole 9 steps which are given in Love and Bailey, just add some important points which are given in this. Other than that, don't go and read into detail. Chapter 30 is very much in detail. Just screen it once, and if you feel something important, okay. If you don't, then also it is fine. Not so much important, it is very much in detail. Chapter 31, equally important, from first page to last page, don't miss it. Chapter 32, again important, don't miss it. Both 31, 32, priority 1. Bone tumors, priority 3. If interested, read, otherwise, it's okay. Next, coming to head and neck, specially priority twos. Why? Because read about the neck zones, then read about the cancers of the glands. There are some extra points which may be important, so highlight that and screen it, priority two. Next, coming to breast, both chapters, first page to last page, priority 1, don't miss it. Endocrine, 37 to 41, all chapters, priority 1, from first page to last page. So do some smart reading, screen out and highlight, make notes and read accordingly. Next, GIT, esophagus, GERD, abdominal wall, like GIT, everything from first to last chapter from Sabiston you must have read. If not, still every page is important. So screen out in the first reading what you need to read in what way. So the second reading, just highlight, make notes so that it is easy for you in the final reading or the third reading. Don't go and read each line every time you read Sabiston. Make some, highlight some points and divide. As I'm dividing the chapters into priority 1, 2, 3, divide the chapter, the content into priority 1, 2, 3 content, and so that it is easier for you whenever you're doing the third reading or you are revising before your theory exams or super specialty exams. Next, chest. Now, they have given in very detail in this, so you need to screen out what you feel is important at the general surgery level. They have given very much in detail. So from 58 to 61, now it is equally important that you read from Love and Bailey, cover everything from that. And from Sabiston, what I feel is you screen out whenever you're doing the first reading or just glance through that which topic is given. If it is given in very much detail, no need to remember that. But just remember what are the basic points, for example, lung anatomy, heart anatomy, the coronary artery disease, valvular heart disease. You don't need to go into very much detail. Just remember the names and any specific surgery or any specific procedure which is done in that. That is all what I think you need to remember. Next, coming to vascular. Now, what I feel is that all the chapters are very important. Now, in aorta, You may screen out the endovascular procedures, but other than that, don't miss out arterial, vascular trauma, venous, and lymphatics. Equally important, priority one chapters. Finally, coming to the specialities, what I feel is that in this pediatric surgery, from first page to last page, you need to read. Neurosurgery, I have covered in my lectures, so you can just go through. And now you have to also screen what is important at the general surgery level. That's why what I'm telling you. First, reading, screen through that. Yes, this is given in very much in detail. So just you need to try to you in the next reading you have to make highlight some points and remember only this, nothing else. Plastic surgery, again, the initial part is very important, priority one. Other than that, the like detailed part about the reconstruction is priority three. You need to understand what you need to remember. Hand surgery, again, basics about the nerve injury, especially in trauma, you need to understand. Don't go into very much details. So first reading, screen out, and then do the subsequent readings. Gynecological surgery, not important. Surgery in the pregnant patient, just go through it. Is a small chapter, so it is a priority three, but just go through it. Gynecological surgery you can avoid. Fetal surgery also you can avoid. Urologic surgery, I feel Love and Bailey has covered in a much better way. So if you don't read, then also it is fine. So I think this is all about how you can read and what you can read from Sabiston. I hope it helps you to prepare and read in a proper way. So if you have any kind of doubts, please reach out to me in the comment section, and you can also reach out to me in person. Thank you so much for watching.